Welcome to our Applying to LSE presentation. This presentation will provide you with an overview of our admissions policies and processes and explain what we're looking for in a competitive application. LSE is a relatively small institution with around 5,000 undergraduate students studying across 41 undergraduate degree programmes. We are a highly selective institution, receiving many more applications every year than there are places available. As the majority of applicants meet or exceed the usual standard offer, simply fulfilling the entry requirements does not guarantee that an offer will be made. In order to determine which of the many highly qualified candidates to make an offer to, the admissions team review applicants holistically, assessing their academic merit, potential, motivation, and overall suitability and enthusiasm for their chosen programme, based on the full set of information presented on the UCAS application. All applications for undergraduate study at LSE must be submitted via UCAS. We do not accept direct applications. Applications open in September for entry in September the following year, or you can apply for 1 year deferred entry. The on-time equal consideration application deadline is in January. When reviewing your UCAS application, the admissions team will assess your academic performance. This includes your existing academic record and your academic potential. Your school or college will provide us with predicted grades and will supply a UCAS reference, which will enable us to find out more about your academic profile, personal and/or extenuating circumstances, and access information about your school or college. If you are a UK applicant, we also use the contextual information supplied by UCAS to gain a more thorough understanding of your academic performance within the context of your individual and educational circumstances. As LSE does not interview applicants and the majority of our programmes do not use admissions tests, the personal statement is an extremely important tool in our assessment and selection process, allowing us to differentiate between the many highly qualified candidates. LSE receives applications from candidates all over the world and accepts a wide variety of qualifications for entry. Although we express our usual standard offer in terms of A-level and IB grades, these are not the only qualifications that we accept. Our entry requirements page provides information about the other qualifications that we consider, such as BTECs, access to higher education courses, and foundation programmes. And our individual country pages detail country-specific qualifications that we consider and the grades required. If you are an international applicant, you will also be required to demonstrate your English language proficiency. Please be aware that it's not necessary to meet this requirement at the time of application. Any offer made will be conditional on the provision of an accepted English language qualification, such as IELTS or TOEFL, prior to registering at the school. Visit our dedicated English language page for a full list of accepted English language qualifications. The admissions team will take into consideration your existing academic record when reviewing your application. If you have taken GCSEs, then we would expect a minimum of a grade 6 in English language and mathematics. If you have not taken GCSEs, then the assessors will refer to the equivalent qualification that you have taken, if applicable, or refer to your UCAS reference for an understanding of your existing academic profile and study circumstances. As the majority of applications we receive are from applicants who have not yet sat their final exams and are therefore applying based on predicted grades, the majority of offers made at LSE are conditional. We do also welcome applications from post-qualified candidates who have already obtained their final grades. In general, we require between A-star AA to AAB at A-level and between 37 to 38 points, with 666 or 766 at higher level in the IB. However, the entry requirements and what we're looking for in a competitive candidate varies between our degree programmes. Our preference is generally for a broad mix of traditional academic subjects, as we believe that this provides the best preparation for studying our programmes. Subjects that we regard as providing less effective preparation for study at LSE are referred to as non-preferred subjects. We expect students to be taking at least 2 subjects at A-level or equivalent from the generally preferred traditional academic subject list, though many applicants will apply with more. We advise applicants to avoid overlapping and narrow subject combinations, such as economics, business studies, and one other. Remember that some subjects, such as critical thinking and general studies, will be excluded from any offer made. This also applies to language learning qualifications, such as IB Language B courses and Language A levels. If an applicant is deemed to have had significant prior exposure to a language, the language learning qualification will be excluded from any offer made. Significant prior exposure may include living in a country where the language is commonly spoken, being educated in that language, or if the language is regularly spoken by you or your immediate family on a day-to-day basis. LSE will refer to the information on the UCAS application to make this assessment and may contact you or your school to request further information if necessary. Similarly, whilst LSE values the skills gained through the completion of an EPQ, we will not normally include it in any offer made. The recommended or required subject combination does vary between degree programmes, so it is important to refer to the entry requirements section on individual programme pages to check that you are studying the correct combination. For instance, many of our degree programmes require A-level or higher-level mathematics or the equivalent. Some programmes will also expect A-level applicants to be taking AS or A-level further mathematics if it is offered by their school or college. Our admissions information page provides a table indicating which programmes are happy to consider a combination of maths, further maths, and one other subject, and which of our degrees would consider this too narrow, as well as lots more information about subject combinations. Some programmes at LSE will use admissions test. The test of mathematics for university admission is recommended for programmes offered by our Department of Mathematics. This provides us with more information about your mathematical ability and provides us with another way to compare applicants. If you're unable to take the test, please don't worry, it's not compulsory and your application can still be considered without it. All applicants to our LLB Laws programme are required to sit the LNAT. The LNAT exam is taken between September and January in the same UCAS cycle that you're applying in. For instance, applicants hoping to start the LLB Laws programme in September 2022 or deferred September 2023 entry would need to take the exam between September 2021 and January 2022. Test scores from previous cycles will not be accepted and cannot be carried over. There is a small fee to sit the LNAT examination, but bursaries are available. The LNAT consists of a multiple choice section and an essay. At LSE, for most applicants, we will only be looking at your multiple choice score. There is no minimum score that we require or set cut-off point. LSE simply uses your LNAT performance to form a greater understanding of your academic ability and potential. We do not recommend that candidates pay for coaching, as the LNAT website provides lots of resources to help you prepare, including sample essays and practice tests. Students studying certain qualifications or applying from non-traditional education backgrounds may be asked to complete the undergraduate admissions assessment before a final decision can be made on their application. This will include students applying on the basis of qualifications such as foundation or access to HE courses, applicants studying a qualification where there are few formal examinations, or mature applicants who have had a break in their studies. The assessment usually takes place in March each year and is designed to help us find out more about an applicant's level of literacy, comprehension, and mathematics. More information, including past papers, can be accessed on the Undergraduate Admissions Assessment webpage. If you are a mature applicant, we would expect evidence of relevant recent academic study from within the last 3 years. Any mathematics requirement must still be met. Please visit our dedicated webpage for mature applicants or contact us for more guidance. So, to summarise how we'd classify competitive academic performance. In addition to predicted or achieved grades that meet our usual standard offer, we expect to see an overall strong existing academic record. This could include GCSE or equivalent grades and AS levels if you've taken them. We'll look at your subject combination with a preference for mainly traditional academic or generally preferred subjects. The majority of offers at LSE are made to students who achieve the required grades on their first sitting. Applicants who are resitting exams or qualifications should include this information on their UCAS application so we have a complete picture of your academic record. While some qualifications, such as the EPQs or the extended essay, may not be included in our offer conditions, we do value the skills that applicants can gain through the completion of these and consider them as part of your wider academic profile. For UK students, we will use the contextual information provided by UCAS and your UCAS referee to gain a more comprehensive understanding of your academic performance within the context of your educational and personal circumstances. This includes the GCSE and A-level or equivalent performance of your school or college. This helps us understand your achieved or predicted grades within the context of your school's performance in comparison to the national average. We also use postcode data to find out more about the area that you live in and the general level of participation in higher education of students in this area. If you've participated in an LSE widening participation scheme, you can include this information on the UCAS form. We'll also look at your personal circumstances, such as whether you've spent time in local authority care, which we encourage you to disclose on the UCAS form. Other extenuating circumstances that may have impacted your academic performance, such as caring responsibilities, family or personal illnesses that have resulted in your missing periods of education, can be included by your UCAS referee in their reference and in our own extenuating circumstances form. We can use this information in several ways. To make a standard offer to an applicant whose academic record is marginally less competitive than the overall cohort, or whose predicted grades are slightly below the usual standard offer, when making confirmation decisions to offer holders who have marginally failed to meet their offer conditions, or to make a contextual offer. Our contextual offer pilot scheme, which means that students flagged as living in an area of low participation in higher education, have participated in an LSEWP programme, or have spent time in local authority care, may receive a contextual offer from a participating department. The contextual offer would usually be 1 grade lower than the usual standard offer. However, any mathematics requirements would still need to be met. Please visit our undergraduate study pages for more information. The UCAS reference is a very important part of the UCAS application, as it helps us understand more about you as a student, your circumstances, and the school or college that you're studying at. As mentioned, the UCAS reference is one way in which your referee can provide us with more information about any extenuating circumstances that may have had an impact on your academic performance. The reference will usually include information about the school and qualifications offered, and any information that they think would be beneficial for us to know about, such as the availability of subjects, including further maths, school or college policies, and importantly, your academic performance within the context of the school and the current cohort. Your referee will use their professional experience to comment on your suitability for your chosen programme, outlining relevant skills, qualities, achievements, and activities that you're involved in. The UCAS reference is also helpful in enabling us to understand how your predicted grades have been determined. If you're involved in any activities or hold positions of responsibility within the school that you'd like us to be aware of, your referee could include these in their UCAS reference, giving you more space in your personal statement to focus on your chosen programme of study. The personal statement is one of the most important parts of the application and plays a significant role in LSE's assessment and selection process. As mentioned earlier, LSE receives far more applications every year from highly qualified candidates than there are places available. We therefore use the personal statement to compare applicants and distinguish between candidates with similar academic profiles. The personal statement has a limit of 4,000 characters and 47 lines, so you will need to be selective in terms of what to include. 75 to 80% of your personal statement should be academically focused, demonstrating why you are a suitable candidate for your chosen subject. Your personal statement should clearly demonstrate your interest in, knowledge of, and enthusiasm for your chosen subject area. Remember that the personal statement is designed to be an original piece of writing, personal to your motivations and interests. All applications go through UCAS's similarity detection software, which will flag any similarities between personal statements submitted in previous UCAS cycles as well as sample statements collected from websites and other sources. The same personal statement is used for all 5 of your UCAS choices. It is therefore crucial that you select 5 programs with closely related content to enable you to write a well-focused, relevant, and effective personal statement. Here are some personal statement do's and don'ts to help you prepare. Don't make the mistake of assuming courses with the same or similar names will entail the same thing across all universities. You need to carefully research course content to ensure it matches your specific areas of interest and to enable you to write a personal statement that demonstrates that you are a good fit for the programme. For instance, a personal statement for LSE's geography programme should have a human rather than physical geography focus to accurately reflect the content of our programme. A personal statement that places a heavy emphasis on physical geography topics demonstrates that you haven't taken the time to research LSE's programme and that ultimately the programme that we offer wouldn't be a good match for you. Similarly, whilst it's obviously not a good idea to specifically name or address one university in the statement, you should also make sure that you're not spending too much time addressing elements of a programme or specific modules that are not offered across the majority of your choices. If you're applying for a joint or combined honours programme, make sure you address all of the subject areas included and the relationship between the disciplines. In order to make the most effective use of the limited amount of space available in the personal statement, you should work with your referee and turn up prepared for any planning appointments you may have at your school or college. This will help your teachers understand your motivations and interests and allow them to provide tailored advice. Your UCAS referee can also include any extra activities that you're involved in that do not directly relate to your chosen subject in their UCAS reference rather than the personal statement. You should not use your personal statement to repeat information that we already have access to elsewhere on the UCAS form. This includes listing your GCSE grades, A-level or higher level subject choices, or any other information that has already been addressed in the UCAS reference. We are keen to see evidence of independent study and the ways that you have gone beyond the curriculum to explore the discipline. But rather than a long list of activities, books, or podcasts, we are looking for specific evidence of critical engagement with your chosen subject. So don't just list the names of TED Talks you've listened to or books you've read. We expect you to analyse and critique what was being discussed and share your opinions on the topic. Did you agree with it? Did it contradict something else you'd read? Did you investigate a particular area in further detail in your EPQ? What were your conclusions? This is how you'll be expected to approach essay writing at university. So the personal statement is a good way to demonstrate that you're already developing this skill set. We generally recommend that applicants avoid using lengthy quotations and cliches. We are expecting an original piece of writing in which you express in your own words, your own interests, motivations, and suitability for the subject. There is lots of advice and guidance regarding writing a personal statement on the UCAS website and LSE's own web pages, so please do take some time to refer to these resources. Applicants can apply for 1-year deferred entry at the time of submitting their initial UCAS application, but if you subsequently decide that you'd like to defer entry, you can also submit a deferral request to LSE by our own deadline. Deferrals are not guaranteed, but we will do our best to accommodate your needs wherever we can. Please bear in mind that if you are made an offer, this is specific to the named programme, and you are very unlikely to be able to transfer to a different programme. All of our degree programmes are oversubscribed, and therefore it is unlikely that spaces will be available to enable a programme transfer. You must therefore do as much research as possible early on to ensure that the programme you are applying for is the one you would be happy to spend the next 3 or 4 years studying. LSE does not usually participate in clearing or adjustment processes. Should any vacancies become available after the January deadline, this would be detailed on our website. If you are made a conditional offer, provided that you meet the offer requirements in your final exams and fulfil any outstanding English language requirements, your place will be confirmed. If you marginally fail to meet the conditions of your offer, then your application will be referred back to the admissions selector for reconsideration in August. Your application will then be considered in competition with all of the other applicants who have also marginally failed to meet their offer conditions. There is no guarantee that LSE will be able to confirm your place at the school if you do not meet the conditions of your offer. If you have questions regarding your fee status, please visit LSE's Fee Status Classification webpage. The UKISA website also offers lots of guidance for applicants. There are lots of ways for you to find out more about applying to LSE and being a student at the school, including our virtual undergraduate open day resources and events, student blogs and video diaries, and our live chat service. You can also submit any questions or inquiries you may have to us at lse.ac.uk/ask-LSE. Thank you for listening.